questions remain surrounding the detainment of Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill on Sunday. New body camera video shows the athlete being handcuffed and taken to the ground outside of Hard Rock Stadium.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Now, police say Hill was speeding and driving recklessly. His teammate, Calais Campbell, was also briefly handcuffed. Both were released ahead of the kickoff. Tonight, Hill says he is embarrassed and shell-shocked about the situation. The police union claims Hill was cuffed and put face down because he was not immediately cooperative. An officer has been placed on leave while an investigation continues. Joining us to talk about this, Waller County Constable Herschel Smith, and NFL veterans LaMarcus Newman, Mike Hick, and Michael Bishop. Glad to have you all here on The Factor. So, Constable, when you first see this video, your thoughts?
Once again, as I say all the time about my officers, respond and react. They reacted to a situation. All the power was in their hand. They was totally out of control. Egos flared up. That's what happened.
Do you think they recognize who this guy was when they arrested him? Or at least pulled him out of his car because he wasn't arrested?
I don't know, Isaiah. They didn't recognize me and they pulled me out of my car. And I was in
I remember
uniform.
that. Yeah,
you know,
right
so at the end of the day, you know, police have to armor themselves and realize and be more patient with people and not be. They get paid by the hour.
All right, Michael Bishop, your thoughts on seeing this video?
When I first seen it, it was very disturbing. I mean, I agree with what you said about egos and being patient, because in my opinion, he didn't pose a threat. As far as we know, he cooperated with everything, and you know, the egos got in the way. And then maybe they realized who it was and said, "This is my moment. Let me take advantage of my moment." But it's definitely disturbing to see the whole situation, and I think it could have been handled differently.
And Mike, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it escalated quickly from when the door was open to him being thrown on the ground, and even on the side when he was saying he had knee surgery, they wanted him to sit down. He ended up in a slight chokehold. So I think it could have been handled a lot better than that.
Lamar, your thoughts on this?
I think it should have been handled a little bit better than that. And then you raised the question on did they know who he was? They had individuals that was driving by was saying that's Tyreek Hill. So I had the opportunity to go on social media and see different shots from different people that filmed. And they did say that that's Tyreek Hill, that's Tyreek Hill. So I do think the officer used it to be able to take advantage of the situation. So therefore he can be able to say that I arrest Tyreek Hill.
And do you think them being able to identify or know who he is, in theory, made it worse?
Yeah.
And I'm going to put you in your place. I don't care who you think you are and who you play for.
Correct. I think that's exactly what happened. They knew who they was arresting, and then they wanted to be able to make an example out of this individual, and they knew that he was heading to the game because he said it multiple times.
Do you think Tom Brady friends, if that would have been Tom Brady, they would have treated Tom Brady like that? This is a felony stop, man. They took this guy and took him down. This is a felony stop. We have to learn as officers not to take our authority and abuse it. You know, they went too far with that, you know?
I think they definitely went too far. I mean, in my opinion, I think they knew who it was, and they took an opportunity in that moment. You know, tempers flare from the officer side, and I'm bigger than you. In that moment is what I think happened.
Yeah, and I think originally when I watched it, I was actually reading about it until I saw Attorney Crump post the actual video, and it seems like the same officer from the car to the sidewalk to even when he went to the other vehicle, the SUV, he kind of took over when the gentleman was trying to film it and call his agent. He went from, you have to leave to let me get your driver's license before I take you to jail. And the guy said, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave. He said, well, no, you're dealing with me now. Either give me your driver's license or you're going to jail.
Aggressive officer from your perspective.
The whole situation, he was aggressive.
Now, at the press conference afterwards for the game, after the game, Tyreek Hill took the high ground.
Correct.
You know, saying, look, this is essentially a teachable moment. I'm willing to work with these guys. Was that the right move?
Yeah, I think that was the right move. Tyreek Hill does so much in the community. Even out here in Houston, he put on football camps. Him and Devon A. Chain and Jaden Waddell, they do football camps around the city. They do football camps here in Houston, Texas. And these guys, and I feel like he just took the high road. And I think that was the best thing to do at the end of the day. But at the same time, he had his opportunity to get his lick back when he scored the touchdown. So
At the end of the day, guys, let me say this. There comes a time when you got to stand up for when you know you're being mistreated. But of course, these athletes is all up on the control of how much money they get paid, et cetera, et cetera. They will boycott them out of the NFL real quick, even if they take the high road. Very few of them. Look at the basketball.
What do you think he should have done, Constable?
I think he should have got him a lawyer. I think he should have really thought about before he came back with the high road and thought about his feelings and how he felt as a black man more than anything else, because that wouldn't have happened to a white athlete, especially when you got another partner saying, hey man, that's the receiver, that's so-and-so from the Miami Dolphins. You know, this stuff should never happen, man.
And so far, the Constable is the only one who brought up the race issue. I haven't heard that from you guys. What do you think?
Me personally, I think that it was a lot of other different races that was out there that was saying that's Tyreek Hill. So it was a lot of different other races that was standing up for Tyreek Hill.
No, I mean, because he is a black man. Do you think they became more aggressive as a result of that?
It seemed that way once the door opened. Yeah, I don't know if all the officers had a view when initially they walked up to the car, but once the door opened, like I said, it escalated very quickly. So I think maybe that probably has something to do with it also.
All right, we want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.